Hello, everybody. Welcome in. It's Laura from Tenacious Taurus Twin Flame Tarot, and this is going to be a twin flame energy reading. I have been way up in a lot of higher dimensional energies for the last several days. Dream space, astral travel has been quite intense for my own journey the last couple of days. I actually received a crystal order last Friday morning, and the energies all of those crystals brought into the house definitely shifted something for my own personal journey. I wanted to talk about some of the messages that came through this weekend. And so one of the crystals that I got was this very beautiful Groot figure from Marvel. Groot is a tree, and so I just feel with this energy, Groot basically is this fictional superhero from the Marvel comics. And so this is black obsidian, and so that is a protection stone. And so Groot is like this sentient tree being, and we are all sentient spiritual beings. And so Groot is actually from the planet X. And what I heard was somebody's getting axed out. Groot is also a member of the Guardians of the Galaxy. And so I found this very interesting. Years ago, I was shown the blending of the princess energy with the superhero energy, and then I swear like a couple months later they came out with Disney Plus, where they actually blended Disney and Marvel together in an app. And so I thought that was quite interesting. And so Groot basically is the last of his kind, but he was kind of able to save the world pod within himself, and which he could use to recreate the Flora Colossus race by planting this seed in this sacred pool. And so how fitting is that when it comes to this sacred twin flame connection? It's like the divine masculine comes and plants this seed in the divine feminine, this seed of creation. And so when I think of trees, Groot is a tree. And so trees do symbolize life. I think of the tree of life. I think of nurturance. I think, trees symbolize this perennial renewal amidst the death and the decay. And where I'm at right now, it's winter, where everything is dying. Everything is kind of decaying. And so it's like this big message coming through for the twin flames that we are all part of this death, rebirth cycle together. And so truly, as long as you are alive, so basically you're here to live your life for the sake of something greater than just yourself. And when we step into this knowing, this spiritual sentient knowledge, then no amount of suffering or sacrifice that we've gone through on this twin flame journey will be in vain, because then we would all become Groot, or we would all become one with nature, with Mother Gaia. And then what I kept hearing over and over again was, I guess it's never really over. And it is a continuous cycle of death, rebirth, transformation, shedding all of these lower vibrational layers and energies. And so I feel right now we're in this energy of contraction, right? You think of giving birth to this new energy, the seed of creation. We're getting ready to birth this new energy. And so we kind of got to go through those contractual pains, right? Labor pains when it comes to giving birth. And so a big message on the journey, I just saw something kind of fly past me. Let me know if you've seen that in the video. We have to understand patience is one of the greatest spiritual virtues that we can harness on the journey. And so when many of us are faced on the journey with a lot of limitations when it comes to physical resources, which actually kind of helps us to maximize the potential of our spiritual development. And so right now I do feel there is this very dreamy, fantasizing energy coming through collectively for the twin flames. And when we recognize that one core seed feeling of value, then we can begin this next cycle, stepping into unconditional love. And so I kept being shown the wheel spinning forward, the wheel of fortune, ending delays and challenges. And so right now I feel these cosmic energies are kind of appropriating this delegation of responsibility within the collective, within the spiritual community. And so imagination is one of our biggest tools, third eye energies, in order to make the very best out of very little on the journey. And so that's a big part for many of us on the awakening journey, is being taken to that 0 point, that rock bottom, kind of, having very little to work with, understanding that spirit will always provide what it is that we need, no more and no less. And so when we can harness this sense of coolness or patience, then we can release all of these feelings instead of being selective when it comes to what we're willing to share. And so I do feel right now, a lot of the divine masculines within the collective are coming into this deep understanding of assuming all of their spiritual capabilities. And so I do feel a lot of them have been strained financially recently, which can lead to a lot of hot-headed aggression. I know the energy has been very hot-headed, very aggressive, just scrolling social media. I can see all of this exposure when it comes to these catalytic soulmate connections kind of dissipating, fragmenting, and getting blasted out of the water. And so and it's like this urge to release these hot-headed feelings. And so that's that Mars in Gemini retrograde energy. And so we're really going to want to be cautious with how we release these very intense feelings. And so I do feel right now the masculines are being asked to temper this hot-headed energy, to conserve their energy reserves, because I do feel right now their physical security is really at risk. A lot of these masculines self-sacrifice. They play the martyr, and then they risk their own security when it comes to helping others along their journey. And so a lot of this energy I feel surrounding the masculine really aren't even their own feelings. And there's a lot of, I want to say, annoyance, a lot of aggressive energy when it comes to these underlying feelings of, not feeling supported. And so I do feel it's due to this fact that the masculines were so motivated by materialism and greed, and this deep desire to be constantly praised and recognized. And so I do feel all of this was for a temporary gain. A lot of these masculines really depleted their inner morals and their inner values when it comes to materialism, resources, and greed, only for this temporary high, this temporary gain. And so I do feel right now that they're in this time of decrease of finances. A lot of these masculines thought this selfishness was justified on their part. And so this material ambition and this drive for the masculine to be on top, to have it all. And I just kind of feel right now all of those feelings that were fueling that personal ambition are now coming to a halt, because a lot of this energy, this position that a lot of these masculines were coming from was very much misguided by their egoic instincts. And I do feel right now they've used up a lot of their resources. So I do feel, in the false counterpart contract, or the karmic contract, whatever you want to call it, that catalytic contract, I do feel the karmic has used up a lot of the resources, basically twice as fast as the masculine would have on his own. And so I do feel right now the masculine's in this Four of Pentacles hoarding energy. They don't want to share anything. And I do feel this is creating this major course correction in the energies currently. And so what I kept hearing was survival of the fittest, survival of the fittest. And so there's this need to adapt, to release these deep feelings of survival and the fears that kind of are attached to it. And so I do feel a lot of these masculines, sourced all of their energy on maintaining these false relationships rather than correcting the past mistakes that they needed to correct. And so this is definitely a time of decrease. I feel weakness as well. I feel a lot of them are struggling with finding their strength, their spiritual strength. I feel a lot of them are feeling weakened in the solar plexus. I feel a lot of them are feeling very much shunned by their social group. And I do feel right now they're looking at the feminine as very much attractive, right? And so, but yet they're still holding on to these feelings rather than sharing them, rather than stepping into their true authorization. And so I do feel there's this seeking of all of this external recognition really has created this persistent dissatisfaction in the masculine's life with all of these limitations, which really have hampered his personal and spiritual development, because he's not feeling very much supported. And so I do feel a very powerful initiation over the weekend took place for the masculine collective in order to release what's been fueling all of these negative feelings to keep cycling back through over and over. And so I do feel, energy is contagious, right? When we surround ourselves with positive people, places, and things, that energy is going to amplify. It's going to be contagious. I just noticed 1111 on the timer. That number's really been popping out a lot for me recently, was the 1111 and the 1010. Were some big syncs coming through for me. So I feel right now there's been a lot of energies of transcendence. I was connecting very high up in the astral realms, way up there. And when I came out of that meditative state, the pressure around my ears, as if, I was way up there like on an airplane or something. And so I feel right now all of these secret fears, I feel one of the biggest fears coming up for the masculine right now is being deprived of all of the special advantages that the divine feminine has manifested and is coming into. And so all of these secret and repressed feelings are pushing the masculine to recognize these feelings, to accept this death energy, and to focus all of this energy to, go through this human experience. So I do feel a lot of the masculines are hungry. They're hungry. They've got this deep, innate, primal hunger right now to experience this emotion with the divine feminine. And so this desire is the beginning of wanting to maybe come forward and interact with these feelings with the feminine. And so I feel there's been a lot of pressure, cosmic pressure on the root chakra in order for the masculine to really vocalize what it is that he truly desires to build for a foundation for his life. Because right now he said all of these vague expressions, these vague expectations. I think right now it's this state of deep sexual fantasy and this restless need to know that it's time to experience something new with someone. And so I feel a lot of the masculines have been in this Two of Pentacles state of unsurety when it comes to this new experience. Is it going to happen? Is it going to be the divine feminine? And so I do feel right now with the wheel energy keep popping up in my third eye is it truly is in the hands of the fates right now, in the hands of the divine is what I'm feeling. And so right now, what I think we're being asked to do is to bring balance to all of this unfocused, confusing, restless energy. And so what will really help in this fantasizing energy, whether you're the feminine or the masculine, is journaling, writing about what it is that you're daydreaming about. You might just want to sit down and watch a couple movies this afternoon. I feel right now we're in this pool, this sacred pool energy of going through all of our past human experiences that have shaped us. Figuring out where we need to harness this energy to hold that promise of this new feeling that awaits this newfound kind of like veil of discovery. And so right now I do feel a lot of the masculines are being asked to release either a person, a job, or addiction, whatever third party karmic energy has kept them from moving freely through this encounter with the feminine. And I do feel a lot of the masculines are becoming very pessimistic about the future right now. And we're heading into the holiday season. I feel a lot of these masculines have recently gone through a major loss, a major ending, and they're feeling very alone, very alone. This feeling of knowing that they want this, but not really knowing, is it really what I want? Is this really what I'm supposed to be going after? And so I do feel this coming to meeting energy. And so I feel the energy is becoming very alert. I kept being shown the number 8, which is the strength card, Leo energy. I think of Leo, I think of the prophesized Lion tribe of Judah, the 144,000. And so we've got all of these preconditioned, predetermined, fated, destined interactions in our lifetime when it comes to bring this alertness to our physical consciousness. And so there's a lot of memories, this deep sense of absence, of void, of feeling like something's missing, needing to harness the 4 directions of the 4 angels. I don't even think I have that deck out. I put all of my decks away except for this one shelf to make room for all of the Christmas decorations. And so I know what deck I'm thinking of, though. I think it's the quantum energy. Pardon me. I'm starting to get my voice back, guys. But my little peanut woke up this morning all snotty, all congested, and I'm like, oh boy, we better not be going through another round of sickness. But I also feel a lot of these clearings are ascension related when it comes to all of this gunk in our physical and emotional body, as well as kind of being released. So where was I? And so right now we're kind of restructuring the proper energies when it comes to our collective structure, our collective memories, our collective consciousness. And then we've got to go into all of these inferior restrictions as well in order to recreate these new thought forms, these new cooperative models of integration through all of these light forces coming in. And so I feel there's been a lot of superior archangel forces coming in order to alert us to these subconscious patterns, these ancestral patterns, and to find our capability to kind of overcome. And so I feel a lot of mental concentration coming forward. It was very much pressurized in the upper chakra system when it comes to all of these threats of interference that the masculine's kind of been dealing with or preparing for, the cause and effect of what's been created in his life. And so I do feel like instinctively the masculine is in this position of 7 of Wands, preparing for battle, handling a lot of ego battles with others' egos, which really has diluted and convoluted the masculine's ability to respond to the feminine's call, is what came through, or like the calling in of the energy. And so I feel right now the masculine's kind of stuck in this spiritual warfare of projection. He's projecting his ego. His ego is being projected back to him as a result of all of these unrealistic expectations in the false foundations that he's built. And so what I kept hearing is like error-prone challenges are coming up. And so I feel the masculine really cannot handle a lot of this ego projection from others right now. And it's really triggering this energy of getting straight to the point. And what I kept hearing was honesty. It's time to get honest. This refusal to engage in this spiritual mission with the feminine has really led to a lot of hypocritical interactions. Like he's dealing with a lot of hypocrites, in return projecting and reflecting that hypocrisy he carries within himself. And so a lot of indifference, because a lot of the masculines have been trying to cut through the forest or the maze of the subconscious mind, the labyrinth of the subconscious mind, through logically cutting through this webbing. And so this indifference really is saying, hey, it's time to guide yourself back to your spiritual instinctive memories of these past life timelines. And so with the sun in Sag, I feel this is the detriment to the masculine with the Mars retrograde in Gemini, which is creating all of these extreme external karmic situations and conditions And I feel the masculine is having a hard time self-sustaining right now, as you know, he's being expected from all of these people, places, and things to you know, deal with all of this stuff. And so I do feel this energy of total rejection. I feel the masculine is feeling total rejection. And let's get honest here, there is a need right now on the journey for genuine honesty. Genuine honesty. What do you need to stop sacrificing? Where do you need to release this indifference of these survival patterns? Because when we are in this place of not owning our inner authority, or we haven't taken our place along the spiritual hierarchy, then we are at we are susceptible to manipulation. And so all of this is also due to a lot of the past life karma, where maybe we've been the manipulator and now the roles have been reversed. And so I feel this major transformation taking place when it comes to all of these inferior elements and self-worth energies that the masculine has, you know, been processing through addictions. And so when we go into all of these inferiority complexes, or we tap into the remains of all of these spiritual weaknesses below the surface, then it makes it very hard to break free from the patterns that have been leading our life down the pathway and possibility of manipulation of others. Or I do feel a lot of the masculines have manipulated many people. And so it is the energy of repentance as well coming through, recognizing where we've manipulated others, where this form of manipulation has maybe even become abusive or degenerate towards another. And so all of this does get reflected back by another person, right? And so recognizing these toxic patterns. But I do feel right now the masculine is being very abusive in the false contracts is what I'm feeling. And this state of aloofness is no longer working. I do feel, you know, this state of always looking for the next shiny thing. You know, whatever happened to people dating one person at a time, whether it's an actual solidified partnership or commitment, but whatever happened to getting to know one person at a time. You know, we're not here to keep looking for the next shiny thing. The universe always brings you exactly who you need to meet at that exact time. And so a lot of these masculines were very much in this state of aloofness. And you know, they kept looking for the next shiny thing, when the shiniest thing in you know, the mix was the divine feminine. And so I do feel we're reaching this place of renewal, though, on the journey, establishing these new thought forms, these new patterns. But I feel right now the masculine is in a place of condemnation, spiritual condemnation and judgment. They kept showing me the judgment card as well. And so to become aware of these patterns will allow us to get back to a state of well-being. We cannot break the chains of these patterns if we're not willing to recognize them and to sit in that understanding for as long as it takes to undo and unlearn that pattern. And so right now I do feel there's a lot of people that have a lot of intolerance towards the masculine's arrogance for all of these lesser morals. And so I do feel this bolsterous, egoic energy really was at the expense of the well-being of others and the collective. And so a lot of duality when it comes to the realm of expansion is going on in the energy. What I kept hearing is it's time to fulfill this purpose through this bond, through this spiritual bond. And so right now we're in this gateway portal, I feel, of surrendering, right? Surrendering. We still have Chiron in retrograde, and that's about to go direct. I believe it is the 23rd. I know it's right before Christmas. And so right now there's a lot with the ego center being illuminated. I was also shown spleen, like energy vampires surrounding the masculine, draining that life force energy when it comes to feeling unsupported and his support system. But I do feel a lot of remembrance of the past life patterns, remembrance of the past lives, remembrance, memory, integrating the memories, integrating the trustworthy part of the masculine. I feel there's a lot of intelligence that the masculine is here to bring forward within the collective. And so I do feel a lot of the masculines, like, we can never truly sell our soul, but it's like they sold their soul. They did not defend or fight for the tribal unit in a past life. And so all of this is being propagated this lifetime. And I feel all of those karmic allies have created all of these fears. And all of this is to trigger this past life remembrance. So right now it's the energy of the masculine is like a starving child, starving for the energy of the feminine. It's almost like the feminine has starved him out or like smoked him out. And it's like this starving child. A lot of these masculines are just starving for attention because a lot of them do not have a healthy childhood or a secure childhood, whether that's material security, emotional security, health security. It all kind of goes hand in hand. And so I do feel a lot of the masculines did not have this in their current recognition or their current awareness. And so a lot of the masculines are really looking to they've looked to the willpower of the feminine to help them get through this transformation. And right now they're feeling starved. And so survival fear really has become this reality for a lot of the masculines right now. And when we're operating out of fear, right now I feel our thoughts are manifesting rapidly, and we're always manifesting and counter manifesting based on our thought processes and our emotions and the feelings that we're projecting out there into the cosmic universe. And so whatever we're feeling and emoting and thinking about is going to become our reality. And so I do feel a lot of the masculines are in this survival reality right now. And I feel a lot of them really have overcommitted to making these false promises that they know they can't keep because they have a promise to the feminine. And so right now what they fear most is all of this baggage from the past is catching up with them. And I think it's catching up with them very, very quickly, like the quickening, the Eight of Wands, very, very quickly. And so this passive aggressive energy, I feel a lot of the masculines are feeling endangered right now. I feel there's a lot of transference between all of the energies taking place and the negative influences. And this is to get the masculine to get to a state of matters, right? Mott. And it is the balancing, the weighing of the heart and the feather when you cross over. It's like ancient practices, the weighing of the heart. And so he's in this energy of weighing his heart. And I do feel all of this friction because the love in the heart is coming forward, right? And so there's a lot being manifested right now. And so I feel right now the masculine feels like he's been sucked into this vacuum, right? And so so the sun cannot be without the moon, right? They go hand in hand. And so right now I feel nothing is going to hold back this light from coming in and influencing the masculine right now on every aspect in his life, in order for him to find his natural expression of that masculine leadership energy, manifesting these divine masculine leaders, right? And so all of this energy of entitlement and arrogance and refusal of the higher guidance, I do feel needs to be tempered. I do feel a lot of nervous tension surrounding the masculine. It's this energy of like fire and fucks is what I want to say. They show me like this energy of a gun, and the masculine's like firing all these fucks at people, feeling like he's misfiring. And so I do feel this is costing him karmically in the energy, learning what selectivity means to him on the journey, who he's selected to be a part of his life in order to step into, you know, releasing them to go into this dedication of honoring these higher cosmic principles. And so I do feel the waiting is over. I do feel that because a lot of these masculines, I feel, do have that intent to successfully lead. So right now I think the question beckons is to successfully lead or not. And so all of this energy is going to be dependent on how the masculine perceives all of these energy influences right now. I do feel a lot of the masculines know it's time to publicly acknowledge the divine feminine, to nurture and protect her like divine influence for the collective. And so I do feel all of this aggrandized egoic energy that the masculine's been sitting in was all out of manipulation attempts. And so I do feel all of this external negative projection is kind of surrounding the masculine right now, in order to teach him to take the lead of his life, because he's been very self-righteous up until now. He's lacked this positive gratitude attitude is what I want to say. And so I do feel this self-fulfilling prophecy. I do feel right now the masculine finds the energies extremely difficult. I do feel he's internalized all of this for a while, and now it's kind of explosively being externalized with a lot of anger and rage. And so a lot of demanding energy when it comes to releasing this superficiality that he's kind of been playing into. And so I do feel a lot of the masculines justified how they treated the feminine. They made it okay. They were a hypocrite. And so all of this is leading the masculine to everything coming to like a dead stop. He's not going to be able to take action until the scales of justice have been balanced. And so I do feel the masculine fears the feminine because of the alpha status that she's kind of in. And so, and how influential the divine feminines are when it comes to their collective leadership mission, their role, and what they've stepped into. And it really isn't hierarchical. It really is, we are all here to be equals. We're kind of all here for this new earth vision and to go into this new direction. We're here to show others how to achieve this state of alignment and closing out these cycles. We're not here to do the healing work for others, but we're kind of here to show them the way as to how we've manifested our highest potential. And so a lot of us are here to be these verbal influences. And so a lot of us are being asked to step up, or we've been chosen to step up. And so everything is energy, right? And so the masculine's chakras, I feel, have all been gunked up from the false position of power that they've been in. And so money is also energy. And so I feel a lot of their finances have been struggling because of this lack of cooperation. And so when you're in the flow, everything kind of flows, right? And so right now we are here to ensure the survival of humanity's future. We are here to preserve it, to release all of these karmic perversions that have held us back from fully stepping into our truth and our light and our soul remembrance of our collective consciousness. And so I do feel we are here to bring these visions forward for society. And right now there's a lot of energy transfer being felt collectively. And so depending on where you're at, whether you're in the masculine energy of your inner masculine or feminine, you might resonate with part of the reading and the other part. But I do feel right now we really need to take into account, what does it mean to be a true leader? So many people, I feel, get so caught up in building this following. And so, whether you have 100 followers, 1,000 followers, subscribers, whatever, it really doesn't matter. When I think of the energy of followers or disciples, Jesus had 12. He was the 13th. And so I do feel we're coming into this new vision effectively. And so right now we're facing a lot of spiritual testing when it comes to our worthiness. Have we really cleared these patterns? Have we really carried out our karmic mission without what's the word I'm looking for? I just feel like right now, as the feminine masters her presence of the now, it's feeling like the masculine just feels like he's got this empty voice inside. And so I do feel we're at the very beginning stages of this cosmic reordering. And so the energies are going to be very difficult as we step into this new. And so for so long, many of us have been fighting the old, the breakdown of the old, and we need to stop fighting the old. We need to just start building the new. And so I think this is the challenge right now of this initiation that we're going through, this another layer of transcending the confusion, reestablishing this new earth order, finding our own individual authentic expression. And, what do we need to kind of mutate within our DNA structure with these light codes coming in order to lead through that higher example. And so I do think a lot has been synthesizing collectively. I know I've been channeling with a couple of different divine feminines over the last few days. And when I go into these portal type energies, I usually connect with other feminines in that same shift. And so when we connect, we can feel that energy transfer within our cellular DNA, the spiritual chills and stuff. And so I do feel a lot of factors really have been playing out when it comes to understanding why that confusion on the journey had to be there. We do have to go through this state of disillusionment, right? Before all of this clarity can kind of be achieved, before all of this kind of new earth energy can kind of emerge from that state of confusion, right? And so Neptune's gone direct, Jupiter's direct, all of these outer planets are starting to station direct. And so we're coming out of that confusion, we're coming out of that fog, and we're starting to see things more clearly, right? And so I do feel this need to accept the spiritual guidance right now, to really go within. And a lot of the masculines, I think, are learning a lesson in immaturity and being true to themselves, right? And so this unrelenting energy for growth will triumph. We are in the triumphing stages, and it always gets darkest before we get to the dawn on the journey. And so huge potential this weekend. But right now, I think we all need to reach that internal stability within our own inner foundation first, because that's going to distinguish where this fertile seed is being planted, right? When it comes to these various manifestations that the twins are here to bring forward for these new earth energies. And so right now, I do feel the masculine feels like he really needs to harness his ability to choose that best perfect mate. He does have this innate knowing of what it is, where the fertility lies. For this specifically, when it comes to collaborating with others. And I feel this perverse denial of this evolutionary leap really is creating a lot of challenges, right? I do feel the masculine has also been playing this victim role, right? Which with Mars in retrograde, I do feel this is demanding a lot of rejections, a lot of rejection of the ego, a lot of rejection of this confused energy. I feel a lot of the masculines are struggling with that self-nourishment because of this fear of rejection. And so learning to follow their gut convictions as well is coming up, and to surrender and to kind of maybe just let things be a little bit. So ultimately recognizing that this struggle, this constant struggle and denial really is futile, right? Because eventually the soul is going to guide you to where you need to go. And so all of these initiations, I feel, really are pulsing in the collective. So you might have felt maybe states of anxiety for no reason, or emotions purging for no reason. I know there was a lot of like anxious energy coming up as well. So I do feel change, but we got to destabilize and break down everything around us that is working. So right now we're in this cosmic cauldron shit pot of energy. And right now we have to maintain our gateway of values. So what do you value? What do you value? Because Venus in Capricorn is asking us to refine our values, our morals, our ethics, to get to a place of humbleness. This journey really is humbling and humiliating at times. And so when we can be humble, then we can release any restrictions of stepping into our destiny, right? And so where are you dissatisfied with your life? Because right now, I think right now, fear is getting to a place of embarrassment for the masculines, admitting where they were wrong. I feel this obsessive energy when it comes to wanting to refine their life and adapting, right? So right now, I think this very discomforting energy is really key. I do feel there's a lot of corruption being exposed with the moon in Cancer right now. It is about home life. And so I feel a lot of the masculines need to align with self-nurturing, with protecting their energies. I do feel they're still harboring a little bit of resentment. And so all of these mental gifts that they've ignored in order to live a status quo life of survival is really becoming very discomforting, I feel. And I do feel a lot of the masculines don't like to be alone. And so I do feel they're looking at the feminine, who's really kept putting one foot in front of the other, and it's brought her a lot of success. And you know, I do feel the masculine does need to hamper his reactions, because I do feel there's a little bit of anger towards the feminine for all of this success. I'm not sure, but I do feel right now we really need to maintain our integrity with all of this dark kind of coming to light. We really need to maintain our integrity if we are to attract what it is that kind of we've been seeking. So I'm going to pull quickly into some cards. I did not mean to go that long, 40 minutes. But we're going to see what the current situation is going on with the twins collectively. What energy and emotions are coming up when it comes to these energies. We're going to check into recent past, immediate future. We're going to see what kind of surprise from the universe is coming through. And just overall energy. And I picked a few different decks. So I am using the Gilded Reverie Lenormand deck to start. I swear something just burnt out. I'm not sure. So we're going to get the current situation going on for the twins and energies. There's that death energy, Anubis. So death, ego death, transformation. It is a 9. We go from the 8 to the 9. And so karma coming back around to complete a cycle. And so it does take great strength, great spiritual strength to go through this transformation. And so I do feel a lot of the past memories are being put to bed in this death energy. So definitely closing out a cycle. Diamond energy too. And so we don't get that shiny diamond without being all constricted and, you know, going through these challenges. And so I'm not going to read these in reverse, but the current energy and emotions is the ship. So manifestation, we got a 10. 3 is that Holy Trinity Union energy. 10 is that completion, you know, completing, closing out all of these challenges. If you can see behind, there's the mountains, the challenges. So the goat energy, Capricorn energy, Scorpio energy coming through. We're going to get the recent past, and 3 just kind of flipped out. So we got the mature man facing challenges on the home front. We got that tree of life energy, that Groot energy coming back up that I talked about, Groot. So a change, right? A change, right? We got the 5. So life force activation, Kundalini activation, an activation throughout the chakra pathway of the rainbow blessings, which is this truth. It is about the heart, people. We got the heart. It is a 7 energy, and so mysticism, this mystical connection. So news on the way of a birth, of maybe taking a risk, taking a chance of mending a broken bridge is what I'm feeling. And so recent past, the masculine, bossing up. He's got that ace of hearts there, right? 28, another 10 card for foundations, the home front, right? Bossing up into that king energy through the heart space. So 2 hearts, kings, are, you know, leaders and facing whatever challenges arise, right? 21 is the world, closing out a major cycle here in the recent past. And so once again, rising, we get the stag energy, which is divine masculine, and then the 8. So I do feel luck, right? But facing these challenges, the 8, everything coming back around to be dealt with. And so a lot shifting is what I'm feeling. So we're going to see what the immediate future holds, and then we're going to go a little bit deeper here. Ooh, we got the owls. So I do feel this was divinely guided. I feel a lot of the masculines might have a crossed over loved one, a father figure or a mother figure, or both. on the other side. But I feel this has been divinely guided change. I do feel there's gossip surrounding this with the birds. So we got high vibrational birds, we got low vibrational birds, and so there's gossip surrounding this change on the home front. You know, going towards the garden. The gossip isn't going to stop the masculine from going towards his own personal heaven, because this was a wish. And so there's that energy of being taken to the cross, right? Being shown the truth of the love that the twins share, a coming to Jesus moment. And so we got Jesus at the top of the cross and Mary at the bottom. And so balancing the polarities of the connection, and there's that crossroads, right? Going towards the castle on the hill. So a lot of memories too, a lot of inner child memories. So we're going to get an overall energy of the reading. We got crack that whip. Long overdue harvest coming in is what I'm feeling. And this is kind of like the magician energy, looking a little bit deeper, going into the fine details, definitely going down some rabbit holes. I just feel like magician energy. Definitely coming out of a very manipulative time, self-deception being released, and then I just kind of feel like sound the alarm. All of the clocks, all of the alarm bells are going off as to ding, 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 ding. That's the divine feminine. So clarity after the emotional storm is what I'm feeling. Clarity after the emotional storm. And so definitely something long overdue coming to an end. The alarms are going off and there's clarity. So I feel right now it's this energy of, if we all go down, we're going down together, right? So a lot of emotions coming up for releasing. I feel like the sinking ship energy, this very Piscean energy coming through, and the snake would represent Kundalini, but I feel, you know, recognizing the temptation that has held somebody back from their purest potential and opening up to love, allowing the heart to guide the pathway forward, right? So let's look a little bit deeper into this death energy, wish fulfillment. Something needs to end, something needs to die away, something needs to be released in order for wish fulfillment and this higher connection. So there's that death energy again. Healing from some truth that might have recently been exposed, Taurus energy. This could be cosmic disclosure. We're going to see what else needs to come through with the death energy. We got the Page of Cups in reverse, the Two of Pentacles, the Moon. So no more juggling these hidden emotions. I do feel so much resistance, but that's like a major wake-up call. So I do feel that Gemini full moon come in and brought a very emotional tower. And the juggling, the realignment, these emotions are coming in, right, is what I'm feeling very, very rapidly. And so I still feel resistance of bringing forward a solid love offer, fear, needing to release some fear, and to get control of some emotions here in order to go forward. So let's see what the mature man has to say, because we got the divine masculine and the divine feminine, but I feel the feminine's kind of just looking forward, right? She's open, she's receptive, she's ready to receive. And so I feel right now things are going a little sideways for the masculine. But things are being removed. There's still some type of toxicity there, an addiction, some type of trauma needing to be worked through. But I do feel seeing the pattern clearly, seeing that toxic pattern with the devil, could be a Capricorn, doesn't have to be, seeing it clearly and really struggling to release, right? To come back into balance. Definitely struggling at nighttime with sleeping. Things are getting worse. A lot of stress and anxiety about that home situation and a conscious release. So there is going to be a breaking apart. This is going to be very quickly. I do feel this has already recently happened in the past. Maybe somebody was thrown out in order to rebalance the situation here. So Let's take a look at the looking glass reverse, because I feel somebody missed the fine detail, didn't read the fine detail. There is a lack of harvest, and the alarms are kind of going off here of a missed opportunity. Yeah. And I do feeling like maybe they don't have enough to offer. There's that materialistic part of the aspect, right? So 6 of Wands reverse, King of Pentacles, 4 of Cups. I do feel they worry that maybe this offer will not be accepted. Maybe it's been a few years. I feel they can't ignore it, the calling anymore. Like the divine is saying, I've gifted this to you. It's time to come in. It's time to leave this battle behind and to go towards this healing connection. This is a brand new beginning. A brand new beginning, but the past baggage has to be left behind. The Fool cannot bring the past baggage forward. This is a healing connection. Aquarius, Aries, where you can be your most authentic self. This actually brings out the best in you, right? And so there's that wheel. We got divine unions coming in here. We've got a divine masculine, a divine feminine coming into abundance, union, stepping into their mission. I do feel it might require burning some bridges, leaving some people behind that you've resisted walking away from, which really has blocked this new beginning in love, self-deception, gaining that new perspective. So I do feel 2 people stepping into a leadership position here, and things are going to be moving forward very quickly. So I do want to see what emotions are attached to this death energy, what ego aspects are kind of being worked through and embraced with this layer that's kind of being shed. So deceit, self-deception. I feel a lot of the masculines really deceived themselves and made themselves feel like they were not worthy of this divine union. There's definitely a breakdown of some sort, like an emotional or mental breakdown of some sort leading to this death energy. And I do feel releasing any comparison aspects. And I do feel like just this shocking revelation of, oh my God, how did I not see this? And I do feel they see the feminine welcoming all of this abundance into her life. And I do feel there's fear of rejection. I do feel the confusion, the pain really has created a lot of confusion, spiraling in this state of self-punishment, self-judgment. I do feel a lot of the masculines have been struggling with some depression recently, envious of the feminine, but I feel recognizing that it really is time to connect with people that will support his goals, his aspirations, because it is about creation. So I do feel learning to be kind to himself, mother himself, and to know that he is always enough. And I think right now his biggest block is, he's been people-pleasing everybody, putting on a show, wearing a mask, wearing a false persona. I want to say it's never too late to shift, but I do feel this overwhelm, this realization of self-sabotage, going towards something lustful, giving his energy to somebody who really didn't have his best interests at heart. And I feel he's feeling abandoned right now. He's definitely working through a lot of shame, but plant that seed and watch it grow, right? We are Groot. Okay, I'm going to get a couple last messages with the Crystal Stone deck. What crystals might help us work through these energies? I just feel a sinking ship energy. So, Celestite. I have some Celestite. I love this stone. Celestite. Tune into your serenity. Rhodochrosite. Soften your heart. And on the bottom of the deck, Shanghai. To get real with your truth. And so, Shanghai, I do feel the masculine really is looking to get honest with himself right now, because he can't be honest with anybody around him if he's not honest with himself. And so I do feel it is time for the masculine to reclaim his energy from whatever or whoever it's been with, in order for him to get real with his truth and to act on his dreams. And so I do feel for Celestite, the masculine's been brazenly ignoring this consistent inner voice that is saying, hey, I have a good idea. I know where you need to go. I know what you need to do to handle this situation. And I do think it's time for the masculine to stop and really listen and allow the energies to guide him to what it is he needs to go towards. And I do think he will be pleasantly surprised and then soften your heart. So I do feel the masculine is in a state of grieving. He's needing to grieve. He's really needing to grieve and purge this heart chakra. So either the masculines recently went through a major loss, a death, or a relationship expired, or maybe this is creating this release of this outdated idea of self. So shedding of the old, dying away of the old self to bring in this new energy. And do feel he's having a hard time breathing. I do feel a lot of higher heart pain, trying to piece together why. And so I do feel a lot of the masculines' hearts are hurting right now. And they are in this place of feeling all of their feels. And no matter how painful it is, they've got to feel these, right? And be gentle with themselves. And so a reminder that no pain will last forever. It will pass. It shall pass. And I do feel this is leading the masculine down this pathway of absolute healing with the divine feminine and loving again, because I do feel he's getting ready for that. And that's kind of what I got, guys. I hope this helped. I hope this resonated. If you would like to book a personal or a soulmate reading with me, check out the description box below, guys. And I do look forward to seeing you all again next time. Thank you.